What's going on, YouTube? Ferocity? I hope you guys are doing well. It's pretty quiet on the XDefiant front. We're still awaiting a release date. We know it's not going to be the end of September. We're hoping it's early October, but at this point in time, it looks like it's going to be worst case scenario, which is mid to late October. And the reason why this is worst case scenario is that this game needed a head start to actually compete with Call of Duty. But when it's going hand in hand with Call of Duty, especially with the unbelievable marketing that Modern Warfare 3 has been doing, it's going to be a very difficult first few months for XDefiant. I still think XDefiant's going to be a really good game. I think it's going to stand the test of time, but I think the start of its life cycle is going to be definitely hurt by its release window. If this game had released in late August, early September, I think it would have gained enough momentum, enough steam to withstand that launch of Call of Duty and would have put a seed of doubt in a lot of people's minds for the fall. Because right now, we look at the landscape, and if you're a multiplayer person like myself, there's really not a lot of options out there. So you're looking towards Call of Duty. But if XDefiant was an option, if it was available, I think people would flock to it. They would at least try it out. The lack of a barrier to entry is really appealing to a lot of people, including myself, and it would be something that I would definitely flock to. It'd be something that I'd want to play. And if it is as good as I believe it's going to be, this game is going to be an absolute juggernaut. But the fact that it's not releasing now until most likely middle of October, late October, or worst case scenario, after Modern Warfare 3 doesn't bode well for it going into the Christmas season. Now, I always knew it was going to compete with Call of Duty. I never had this impression that they were trying to take away from Call of Duty necessarily, but I wanted them to directly compete with it. And I didn't think that it was fair to the success of XDefiant if it had to compete around the same launch window as Modern Warfare 3. That's why I wanted to release earlier. I wanted to allow people to have time, because this is probably the roadmap of events that would have occurred if XDefiant had released, let's say, end of August, early September. People would have gotten their hands on the game. They would have been able to play it. They would have had about a month into the game. They might have gotten a little bit over it. They would have gone to the Modern Warfare 3 beta, tried it out, maybe enjoyed it, maybe not, but they would have gone back to XDefiant in middle of October. And then when Modern Warfare 3 releases, they're going to go back to Modern Warfare 3 for a little bit, then go back to XDefiant and kind of yo-yo between the two games. But now you lose that runway. Now you lose that month head start before we see content from MW3. And I don't know if you're going to have the same yo-yo effect. I don't know if people are going to bounce between your games as much as it originally would have happened. I want to believe that because I believe that's what I'm going to do, but that might not be what happens. What might end up happening is people stick to Modern Warfare 3 because they're so darn loyal to Call of Duty that they're not going to move away from it. And they didn't have that opportunity to try something new that could affect that loyalty. And that's just my worry. I don't want to see XDefiant fall to the same issues that happened to Titanfall 2. I believe Titanfall 2 might be one of the best games that everybody missed out on because of when it released. It released in between Battlefield 1 and I believe it was Infinite Warfare. It might have been... it was Infinite Warfare. And that was detrimental to it. Because you had 3 major FPS titles released within, I think it was like 4 weeks. And people just don't have enough time. They don't have enough money to spread across that much experience, especially considering the fact that Battlefield 1 was that breath of fresh air for the FPS community, because for the first time, we weren't going into the future, we were going to the past, and that was really nice. And Titanfall was a nice little mix-up to that, where we had this insanely fun game. It was just so disappointing that it released when it released. I still believe if that game released in March of 2017, it would have been an absolute gangbuster. People would have flocked to it. People would have loved it. But because it was suppressed by its poor release date, people didn't get to enjoy it as much. Now, people are repopulating the game. They're going to it. They're enjoying it. Because I think there is some belief that there might be a Titanfall 3 on the horizon. But let's move back to XDefiant. What does this all mean for them? Well, it means that they could fall the same way Titanfall fell, which means that it's going to suffer from being released right around the same time as Call of Duty. Call of Duty has a loyal fan base. As much as I rag on them all the time, there is a lot of people that are dedicated to that franchise, and they're going to buy the game based on the fact that it's Call of Duty. And it's going to be a lot harder to get people away from Call of Duty, even if your game is amazing. Now, it's not impossible, and I really hope if Modern Warfare 3 fails, people will start to experiment with XDefiant. They will go to XDefiant and explore what it has to offer. It being a free-to-play game already puts it a tier above Call of Duty, just with the fact that you don't have to spend any money to play it. And it's going to give you that traditional Call of Duty feel, but it's going to be different enough where you don't feel you're just playing some Call of Duty clone. I really enjoyed XDefiant for every second I played it. Yes, there were frustrating parts, and I talked about that in my reviews. And I'm sure that those over at Ubisoft are working tirelessly to fix it. But there are so many positives within that game that I really do enjoy that I'm just so excited to hop into once the game does release. That's why it feels so disappointing that the game isn't out yet. It's because I want it to be here yesterday. I thought I'd already be playing it. I thought I'd already be able to talk about it some more, give you guys some insight on the things I like and what I don't like. But unfortunately, we're not there yet. Now we have to juggle the launch of Modern Warfare 3 and the launch of XDefiant. And now we have to see and compare almost apples to apples with what XDefiant has versus MW3. Can XDefiant stand up to Call of Duty? And trust me, Call of Duty is worried about XDefiant. I don't think they'd be pushing the marketing the way they are. I don't think that they would be doing the things they're doing, especially with Season 6 of Modern Warfare 2, if it wasn't for XDefiant getting people excited about their game. If it wasn't for the fact that XDefiant was actually putting some care and investment into their game. It feels as if they're actually interested in releasing something with quality instead of something that's just going to print money. And I know that's foreign to the new Call of Duty, but they're going to have to match it as well. So worst case scenario here is that XDefiant at least makes Call of Duty upgrade their game and make it better for the community. Best case scenario is both games push each other to be better at every single turn, and these games can work in unison to make the multiplayer landscape better for us instead of it becoming slowly worse over time as what we've seen over the last few years. So it's not all doom and gloom, but I do wish that XDefiant had that extra couple weeks or a month ahead of anything Modern Warfare 3 related to at least gain some momentum so people would believe in this title to succeed. All you've been doing with it taking longer is planting a seed of doubt. And I don't like that. I still believe in this game. I hope you do as well, because I think we're in for something special. But it is up to Ubisoft and XDefiant to deliver. And it is up to them to ensure that they compete with Modern Warfare 3 every step of the way, because the second they falter, we know Modern Warfare 3 will be there to steal that player base back, and it'll be a lot harder to get the player base back to XDefiant if they've already been alienated from it. But if you welcome people into XDefiant with open arms and you allow them to enjoy your experience, they might become loyal to you over Call of Duty. So yeah, that's all I really wanted to say. I know we don't have a ton of information about it, but this feels like worst case scenario, but I really hope it turns into best case scenario where XDefiant is even better than what we expected it to be and honestly can just crush Call of Duty, or at least make Call of Duty be better. I think that's best case scenario. So that's all the time I have for today's video. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below in that comment section concerning XDefiant. I'd love to hear what you have to say. But that's all the time I have. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button. If you want to see more videos from me, please hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.